Hey, what's up, guys? It's Econ Bulldog, along with Brands Ave and my business partner, Luis Perez. We are hosting the Almost Inventory Challenge.com starts today. All right, everyone in here invested time and money to be in the room. As we covered, they're in the front row seats. All right, we went over housekeeping rules. We don't want nosebleed effort. All right, as I mentioned, the one who's more active is going to get a refund at the end of the challenge. So whatever it is, posting more, documenting your process, taking action faster than anyone else. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys a question, and then I'm going to go down the line. If I ask you, when you're in the challenge, how much percent are you going to give? And I want to see where your mindset's at. So I'm just going to call, let's say Eric. Eric, if someone asks you how much percent are you going to give, what's your response?
10.
What's up?
110.
Okay, cool. What about you, Legacy? Someone asks you how much percent you're going to give. What's your response?
112%, baby, all the way.
I like that, man. What about you, David?
Yeah, same. Like they're saying, like 110.
Yeah. Anyone that says 100%, all right, you already know where they're at. Their frequency, their energy. All right. I would even take it a step further and say I'm giving 120. Right? Because those 20%, you got room to fail. Right? And hey, we all go through that. But remember, there's just harder solutions. There's no such as problems. Someone comes at me with a negative issue, hey, I'm fucking cold. Well, I don't get cold. That's how you change that mindset. Oh, I'm having a bad day. No, bro, we don't have bad days. Right? So when someone brings you that when you're at work, that's why I hated being at work. People would drain me. I'm starting out the morning good. People come into work with their fucking problems. I'm like, damn, it's barely 8 o'clock in the morning. And you're already here like, oh man, I ain't trying to be here. Like, bro, okay, cool. You ain't trying to be here. Keep that to yourself. Don't bring that on me, right? So as the days progress, man, I'm glad I quit. March 3rd, 2021, right before my mastermind. So it's something that I had to do because I felt fake telling people to go all in when I'm over here working and then running, a 6-figure Amazon business, right? So the goal is nothing wrong with the 9-to-5s, but you want the 9-to-5 to take over your side business. The effort that you put in your side business could be maximized if you give it more time. Like in that book, Winning, there is no balance. Whoever tells you there's balance is bullshit. Yeah, you want to be a good father. Yeah, you want to be a good boyfriend, but you want to win. And that's what's going to take to be a winner. No balance. Hey, I'm focused on this. You don't see me popping bottles. That's not what I'm trying to do. A lot of people do that. That's on them. A lot of my friends from high school follow me and they're popping bottles. They're going to football things. And I'm like, it's just not me. Because I'm not happy where I want to be. And that's the same mindset you guys got to have. Right? Because winning is different. Right? And this is from that book, Tim Grover. And different scares people. Right? Be different. Do not be the same. All right, real quick, David, I'm going to go down the line real quick, bro. Can you just, give us your name, a little, where you're at, and hopefully what you expect to get from the challenge.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you for having me. So I'm David. I'm from Cali, kind of near like the Bay Area, like 30 minutes away. And, I'm super excited for the challenge, especially for like the credit part and the NFT part, because I want to dive in, heavier into that. Econ Bulldog has already been giving me like a lot of gems for credit, and I've been able to do a few things, but I'm like excited to dive in deeper with this challenge. Thank you, man.
I'm glad we got your store back too. That's a huge gem right there, but I appreciate you being in the space. All right, brother.
Appreciate you, brothers. And thank you too for helping me unsuspend my store too. I forgot about that.
No, that's good, man. It happens. I've gotten 2 stores suspended on my own store. You know what I mean? And like I got anxiety. I got stressed out. I'm like, what's going on? But I'm like, hey, you know what? You can submit up to 30 appeals. until it happens, until you figure out which formula works. And that formula that you have right now, bro, I wouldn't give it to no one for less than $500 to $1,000, right? Whether it works, you just tell them, look, if it doesn't work, I'll refund you. But most companies don't refund, right? So just give you that because you paid for the community, you paid to get in, and my whole job is to give you guys as much value as possible. You paid $297, I want to give you guys back $3,000, right? Because someone's gonna pay for something if it's valued more. I'm not gonna pay for something worth $297 if you're gonna give me back $297. Then what's the point of that, right? Like I know Eric is next. Eric, if I give you $1 and you give me $1 back, and what the fuck is that? What's the point of that? I give you $1, you give me $1 back. Like I don't want that. But if I give you $1, Eric, right? Or if you give me $1 and I give you 10 back, oh fuck, you're gonna do that shit all day, twice on Sunday. You'll be like, hey, you come, I'll give you another $1, give me 10 back, right? And that's how you create value. That's how you create your brand. And don't get discouraged from posting. People are watching. All right, Eric, bro, you're next. Thanks a lot, David.
My name's Eric. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I actually travel around the world, but I settled right now, San Antonio. It's a pretty nice city. It's deemed military city. So it's cool.
Nice. What are you looking to get in the challenge, bro? Like overall, just, I mean, the knowledge nuggets you can
And the knowledge, basically the Amazon stores. I want to build it so I can pass out my daughter, give her so to do, and then the NFTs, man. I bought 2 the other night when I was drinking a little bit. I don't remember which one, but there's somewhere. It says it's safe transfer and everything's there. So I just want to learn how to get back into my OpenSea.
But I mean, that's the thing though, right? I took a lot of L's on the NFTs in the beginning, but now I know what projects to get into. Now I know what community is going to grow. And remember, even if you dived in today and you might not see a growth in 3 months, guess what? Like you might forget about NFTs, come back a year later and see the growth in your NFT because it was a project started before, So
Yeah,
I appreciate you, Eric.
Definitely.
All right, man. And
Thank you.
Legacy, let's go, bro.
Hey, it's JR. I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana, Hurricane City. I joined this chat because I met Santiago in a previous challenge that we were in. And man, that's been a blessing since I found out about all the information that he just floods out to the community, and also AMZ Snagger, because I'm getting back into Amazon with my buddy Umberto, working side by side on the Amazon account. So I'm definitely trying to regain my knowledge along with a whole bunch of other things like credit hacks and NFTs. And I know Santiago the man to go to.
I appreciate you, Jared. Thank you very much for that, man. All right,
Peace, sure, man.
We're gonna go to Zalo. Zalo, you good? Getting his workout on 75 hard right now?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? My name is Gonzalo. Yeah, I'm doing 75 hard right now, but I'm from Los Angeles, and what I want to get most out of this challenge is just really get the fundamentals down from Amazon and how it works, and as well as the NFTs and everything that Econ Bulldog has to offer. So I appreciate the challenge, and best of luck to everybody.
Hey, thanks a lot, Zalo, man. I've been rocking with Zalo since Driven, I think 3, guys. The people that you meet at those events or challenges or whatever it is, the frequency's there. So they want to grow as bad as you, right? We might have our own little hurdles, but we take that and change that into positive vibes. So don't get discouraged with like what you got going on. Bills got to get paid regardless. But how much of that are you investing in yourself? Right? That's a key factor. All right, Carlos, you're next, bro.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Appreciate being in here. I'm from down here, Fort Lauderdale area, Miami. What I want to get out of this is basically setting up my LLC, doing it the right way, and also piggybacking on what Gonzalo said, there is the NFTs as well, and just getting to know, working on my Amazon store as well. That's what I really want to work on as well.
All right, appreciate that, Carlos. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate that. Next one, we got another Carlos.
Yeah. So hey, what's going on? Can you guys hear me?
What's up, brother? Cash flow right there all day.
Yeah. So basically, a year ago, 2 years ago, I got into an Amazon course, and it was kind of more bare bones. Didn't have a community. I seen Ecom Bulldog and what he had to offer, and I seen that he was doing big numbers, and it kind of gave me that mental push that I could do it too. So ever since Ecom Bulldog has been putting me on gems, a whole bunch of information for when I get stuck, I go over those hurdles, and I've been able to quit my job last year, and I'm doing this Amazon thing full time. My goal is to learn a whole bunch of credit hacks, this inventory challenge, so then I can scale my store to 6 figures this year in profit.
Nice, nice, man. Congrats, bro. Like I said, another person I met, from Driven. So the people that tell you that these events are just to brainwash you, it's more of like people go to these events and they come back home, they get the information, and they don't take into account any action. You know what I mean? And that kind of it puts you in this cycle where you go back to an event, you're putting money, and that puts you in the hole. So the goal is to go to these events, take the action, meet the people, and then grow with them. All right? Hold on. I don't know who Eric is. Hold on. Hold on real quick. I don't know who he is. Hey Jimmy, can you take? He's probably from the Discord. Hey Jimmy, can you unscreen your video if you can?
Yep.
What's up, Jimmy? What's up, brother? Get out of that comfort zone, man. This is what it's
Yeah.
about. What's up, man? Tell us about you, what city you're at, and what are you looking to accomplish overall this week?
Yes, I'm Jimmy from LA. Just trying to learn more about like Amazon and use it to get my master's, or at least fund me through my master's. That way I don't have to struggle trying to do a job and get my master's at the same time.
Awesome. All right, Jimmy. Appreciate that. Appreciate you hopping on, bro, and just getting these information. And like I said, man, keep executing. All right. Just investing in, one challenge, one course, one mentorship. It might not just be it, right? You need to invest more, but you're building your own puzzle, and then you want to complete it. And I got this gem from this course. I got this gem from this mentorship. The people that I have as speakers, like the credit person that I have coming in on Wednesday, he just invested 50,000 into a one-on-one mentorship, because he invested before about 5,000, and that guy was able to make him, I think, 80 or 90 from those 5,000. So he's like, hey man, this guy's giving me $50,000 sauce, I'm in, and just you it's kind of like when you raise that brand to charge 50,000, it's more like now you're connecting them with the plugs and taking them to different events because they're your mentee and you want to make sure they're right. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got some heavy speakers coming out this week. So give me a second. I got Raul next, brother. Raul, right?
Good day, everyone. Yes, my name is Raul Cruz. Met Santiago in the end of 2019 through another challenge, and actually an Instagram challenge. And I saw a couple of his posts in regards to drop shipping, Amazon, Walmart. And during that time, I was looking for another stream of income. So reached out to him. We met up the next day. He put me onto his course. Definitely started applying and executing, seeing some results. I took a little back seat to handle some personal things and getting back into the game again. I'm looking to get out of this challenge just to rejuvenate my store. It's still open, but I haven't listed anything. I know Santiago is the man for the job. Definitely a lot of the gems that he has already given to me, especially the credit, NFTs. So just looking forward to learning a bit more and getting things going.
Hey, Raul, thank you, brother. Like I said, I met him on Challenge 1. I think we did it with Joshua, and me and him connected off the back. I think it was one meme post, right? It was like Cardi B had put wet ass P, right? The WAP, and then I put wealth, assets, and property. And I think Raul, he freaking had a good laugh with that, and we connected, and we've been good ever since, right? But leveling up together that's the biggest. Like, I don't really have friends. I have business partners that we grow together. Like my circle, I have my kids' godparents. Like that's like my only best friend, and then Brandon, which is like my business partner, and Lewis. Everyone else like kind of cut off, right? Because I'm trying to be at a different level. But I like to grow with my students because you invest in me and I invest with you guys right back, right? So just appreciate you guys being in here for sure, man. Next person, who we got? Victoria?
Hey, I'm Victoria. I know not some of you, Econ Bulldog. You know me as Tori indeed. So thank you very much for having this. I'm already on the road of trying to build business credit, but what I want to get out of anytime we speak is knowledge. I definitely want to get familiar, and I always admire and appreciate your gems. So I look forward to that and to be more knowledgeable.
Thank you very much, Victoria.
You're
So
welcome.
Victoria, if you guys don't know, Victoria has her own podcast, right? What's if you want to share the name?
Oh yeah, so I have a platform. It's called Vibe to Vibe. It's on the Universe Network Television. That's available on Roku, smart TVs and devices. We're a licensed and legit platform. I interview experts like Econ Bulldog and musicians and different aspects of the overall entertainment industry, as well as entrepreneurs and business owners.
So that's one thing that Victoria brought up that I think is key, right? A lot of people start businesses, and I did it too with my own personal money. So when I started, I was using debit to fund my Amazon store until I got into business credit, and it kind of it helped me breathe, because Amazon payments were every 2 weeks, and sometimes I was using my own money. I was suffocating because I'm like, oh, I got to get this. I'm getting a good payment, 11,000, but I have to wait a couple more weeks or whatever. So yeah, so definitely business credit's where we want to take your personal credit high enough. So anytime you start an LLC, and you can start multiple LLCs and then have the personal credit PG it, personal guarantee it, so you can get high limits. And then you don't have to worry about your personal credit utilization, because the way business credit works, it doesn't affect your personal credit. So thank you, Victoria, for stopping in. Who else we got? We got Victor. And then Victor, you there, brother? Share your story.
Yeah,
man.
What's up, man? All right. So my name is Victor. I'm located in Los Angeles, and my goal is to get out like as much information as I could based on credit and Amazon store. Because for credit, I want to help my mom rebuild her credit so we could like get a bigger place and whatnot. And I'd want to build up my Amazon store and finally open it, so that I could get out of my job right now, because I'm working crazy hours, man. I've been here for like 2 to 3 years, so I feel like it's about time to get out of here already.
Awesome. Thank you, Victor. Like I said, another person I met from Driven, and if you guys don't know, Victor's only 18 years old, so definitely his head's on the right track. When I was 18, I was in the Marines running some wild shit. So definitely, hey, Victor, I commend you for being this and actually having a purpose. Like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do this for my mom. Trying to get in a better place. So just real quick, Victor, I know just a quick gem, and obviously tapping in more into it. Are you renting, or you guys maybe own a property that you want to get a bigger one?
Right now we're renting, but my goal is to like actually own some property.
Awesome. Cool. So I'll like I said, there's gems that I'm going to share so you can increase your credit score for renting property that can go back up to 2 years and report on your credit. So I'll definitely share that as we go dive into the credit aspect. But yeah, appreciate that. So we got Sean Lee.
Hi guys, my name is Sean Lee, and the reason why I started my selling on Amazon is because I want to retire my parents early because they're always in pain after coming home from work, and that is why I bought Econ Bulldog's course. And also when my account was deactivated, Econ Bulldog sent me a plan of action for free, worth of $2,000 or $3,000. And what I'm really excited about this challenge is how the NFT works and the credit card hacks.
Yeah, so like, awesome. So business credit, and then obviously the automation gem that I have towards the end. I think this is that right there, that information alone is going to change the way drop shipping is going to move, going forward. So I appreciate you, Sean Lee, for being in here. Anyone that I missed, I know, just want to just make sure. And then Brandon, you want to introduce yourself real quick, Brandon? Just give a little spiel about you and, driven, whatever you want to talk about. Go ahead.
What's up, guys? There you go. Yeah, so if you guys don't know about me, you should. I'm just kidding. I'm Brad Zav. I've known Ecom for a minute. Fun fact, we used to do security back in the day. Then we lost contact. We used to be mall cops, the Paul Blart movie. Yeah, that was us about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Then we lost contact. Then he hit me up, I want to say 2-3 years ago. He was doing, what was it? What's Shopify. And I was one of his students on Shopify too. And it was kind of cool. He got me on board. I think I made $1,000 in my first 12 hours and I got shut down. Then I fell off again. I was doing my own thing because I was scared to invest. So I'm like, you know what? I was always 9 to 5. I've always been a hard worker, 2-3 jobs. So then about a year ago, he hit me up like, hey, bro, I'm doing this Amazon thing. You need to really hop on. I'm like, nah, man. He's like, I'll hook you up for coaching. I'm like, all right, cool. So I paid him a chunk of money to do the coaching. And we went to the mastermind and, he just liked my work ethic and we just hit it off again and reunited and became business partners. And I'm learning as I go along with you guys. I've definitely come a long ways. I'm on board with you guys. I'm his business partner and he's teaching me along the way. And it's definitely good to surround yourself. I had dropped a lot of friends to be in the circle and it's a good feeling to finally be around somebody. I don't know if you guys ever know, being around people that are broke, it's very frustrating, especially if you're the only one that's, hey, let's go out to dinner or let's go out to lunch. You feel like you have to pay for everybody because all your homies are broke. You're like, hey, let's go out to eat, bro. I got you. Hey, let's go for a drive. Don't worry about it. It's frustrating. It's nice when I'm with Ecom. It's just nice to surround yourself with people you don't have to worry about. That you can go to a nice dinner. You can go out and don't have to worry about, you know what I mean? You just got to surround yourself with that. And, even letting family members go and friends. And I'm really blessed to be a part of this. And I'm excited to grow with not only him, but you guys. And, I'm rooting for all of us to become successful and go to the next level financially, mentally, and in every aspect of this challenge. The hardest part is investing in yourself. And, me, I was always, I'm Mexican and Puerto Rican. So my mom, even to this day, I tell her what me and Ecom are going to do. She's like, Mijo, be careful. You need insurance. Don't do that. So it's sometimes you just got to block all that out, because, they'll, they'll drain you. So sometimes your closest people are the ones that are gonna keep you down. So, but I'm excited. Follow me on Instagram if you guys already haven't, and we're all doing this together. So,
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon. Real quick, I had 2 people that were just waiting. Hey, Jake, did you want to say something, or are you good? I just wanted to make sure. If not, it's all good. All right, we'll just keep it going. My speaker is going to be in 2 or 3 minutes. I had one more person that I actually accidentally kicked off because I don't recognize who he was, but I think his name was Reyes. Hold on real quick. Give me a second. All right, hold on. All right, so the speaker is going to come on real quick before I announce the speakers. I think she brings a definitely vital aspect to your whole business because everyone starts a business the wrong way. They use their social, no EIN, right? No LLC, no corporation. And that doesn't really benefit you, when it comes to taxes, when it comes to the benefits that you can gain from having business and establishing business credit. So another good friend of mine that I met through Driven, and I can tell you, I can vouch for her. She definitely invests in herself. She does not play. If you're in her way, she'll knock you down, and definitely keep on going. Whether you're coming with her or not, this woman knows what she's doing in her craft, definitely master her craft, has, I don't want to say too much, obviously, she's been in the space where people know who she is. So definitely, Pam, are you there?
Hi.
Hey, Pam.
How are you?
Thank you very much, first of all, for being on this challenge, and definitely just enlightening these students on what they need to start everything properly. If you want to just intro about you, that way I didn't leave anything out because you have so many accolades.
Yes. First of all, can you hear me good? Can you see me good? Everything good?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Econ, for thinking about me and having me on your what do you, is this like a meeting that you're doing? Is what tell me a little bit about this event.
Sorry. So it's just a challenge that throughout the whole week and every day we're covering an important aspect in business. And I think starting with you, talking about taxes, LLCs, corporations, the benefits, the pros and cons, I think is pivotal because you've probably seen it does like hundreds and thousands of clients that do things wrong, and it kind of it screws them over with Uncle Sam.
Yes. All right. Perfect. So my name is Pamela Juarez. I am the founder of Rapid Tax Solutions. We handle tax matters, DMV services, insurance. We offer life scan services. Shout out to my child over here.
I'm my mom's
This is my assistant here on MLK Day.
Yeah, and then I have a collection of guns.
All right. So we help a lot of business owners, that don't know where to start. We have a lot of business owners. We have two types of clients. We have the client that wakes up one day that wants to start the business and just goes and executes. And we have the client that's the planner. We have the client that's like, wait a second, what can I do? How can I do it? And so what happens is I always say that for those individuals that want to start their business, always invest in a consultation. It's important because you want to make sure that you use anything available for like the new business owner. As far as capital goes, we starting a business is expensive. Depending on what type of business, if it's like a storefront, so many things that you're going to spend on. I have a client that I spoke to on Friday. She went ahead and it's related to beauty. So she started her business and she leased a location, and she's invested about $25,000 of her own money in equipment, in giving the place a facelift. And I asked her, I said, do you have a business plan? Do you know more or less what you're spending? Do you have a budget? All that's important, because when you don't have something written down, you're going to be over budget. You're not going to know what you want, what you're going to do. So, we spoke about insurance, general liability. We spoke about a lot of things, but, a lot of times we skip those things. And I have clients that I've known to invest thousands in storefronts, and they failed to buy the GL. And guess what? There was a flood. There was a fire. They lose everything. No insurance. So you got to get familiar as a business owner about how to set up your entity, what type of coverage is available to protect your investment. So insurance is very important. I've had clients that have lost it all, flood, fire, and they bought the cheapest thing because we just need the minimum coverage because the landlord is requesting the minimum. So very important, depending on what type of business, you want to start, insurance is important. Something that I want to tell you, Ecom, is I have something that I give out to my clients. It's a startup guide. I'll be more than happy to email a startup guide to all of your attendees today. So it gives you an example of what a profit and loss is. It gives you ideas of how to come up with a business plan. So, you know, it's a very resourceful packet. So, you know, for those that are just kind of like, what is she talking about? By the time we're done, I could give you guys something, you know, complimentary, and you guys will have my contact and email me anytime that you guys have a question.
And
So
Mom's
first,
true.
first and foremost, you want to know what type of entity you want to establish. You know, there's the DBA, which is the sole proprietor. We could create an LLC. We are in California, so LLC, the fees are usually available on the Secretary of State. If you want to start an LLC, the state's going to charge you $70. If you want to start a corporation, they're going to charge you $100. You're going to file articles. The turnaround is about 3-4 days. After they approve your name, after they approve your business, you're going to apply for your EIN. The EIN is free of cost on the IRS website. Depending on the type of entity, that's first and foremost what you want to decide is what type of entity. Normally with my clients, I consult to see first and foremost what their budget is like. I don't want to put them into something that is gonna be a burden. And what happens is when you dissolve, guess what? There's fees involved as well. So you don't want to, my goal is not to sell my clients something that they don't need. We have clients that are just testing the waters. Testing the waters, perhaps a DBA. A DBA allows you to open up a bank account with your fictitious business name from the county clerk and your EIN that the IRS issues to you. Two basic things. Depending on the county, every county has their fee for the fictitious name. The most common county for me is LA County. They charge $26. The EIN, again, is free. When you publish your fictitious business name, that's going to run anywhere between $25 and $50. Just depends. It's a third-party service for publishing. It's required by the county clerk. So after you've decided whether you're going to be a DBA or an LLC, file a fictitious name. After you filed your articles, you get your tax ID number. The most important thing, I love LLCs all day. Why? Because they separate you from your personal identity. What that means is when you apply for your tax ID number through the IRS website, you just created a new person. It's an entity. So I could share with you guys that when I started my business, I was the client that got up and executed. I didn't plan properly. So what happened is my business grew, and you know, I didn't have any issues. I had my business bank account. All of my earnings were going into the business account. All of my expenses were coming out from the business account. And what happened is I wanted to continue to grow. So I had a couple of credit lines that were offered to me through the bank that I was working with. And so they extended to me about $40,000 of credit card, like a credit line. So I said, oh my God, I got $40,000. What am I going to do? So I decided, okay, well, how about a new location? So there I was using other people's money, right? But, you know, I figured, okay, it'll take me this much to pay it off. I'll do it. No problem. You know, when you have a business loan, you could write off the interest. So I wrote off the interest. I'm like, oh, it's a full write-off. But then I got an idea that I wanted to buy a house. And so what happened is when the lender ran my credit, aside from my debt that I had, you know, my car note, my personal credit cards, now I had this humongous credit card debt related to the business activity. So that was going under my personal social. So now I'm like, oh my God, I thought I was cool, you know, charging it on the credit card for the business. But in reality, I was responsible for it because it now shows up on my credit under my personal identity. So then what happened is I started doing my research. I opened up my LLC. I started allocating a lot of income to the business LLC account. Again, the credit cards were offered to me. The credit line was extended to me. And I basically, what I did is I said, okay, I'm going to allocate all the debt under my social. I'm going to just put it now under the business. And now, you know, if you run my credit, I have squeaky clean, no debt. And so it puts me in a position it put me in a position where now I could apply for a home loan. I've closed on multiple properties in the last couple of years. So I can tell you guys, I've made the mistakes of not doing the proper research. And again, a lot of times people get scared of the franchise fee. It's $800 a year, whether you generate or not. Don't be afraid of that fee, because that fee, it's like giving you access to a whole new identity. So it's very important, you know, to look at the pros and cons. So I started my LLC, everything went great. But then now I'm like, okay, now I'm making more money, and now I'm running out of write-offs. So that's when the tax planning starts coming in. So I decided to elect an S corp. So now with the IRS, I filled out a 2553. And what happens with that is now you are not paying the self-employment tax. You are filing an 1120S. I have my reasonable compensation, so I'm paying myself under payroll. And now I have my W-2. I have a solid income. So now my tax return structure is my 1040. I have my W-2 because I am an employee of Rapid. Any profits that are left after payroll, after overhead and everything, it's flowed through a K1 to me. So my S corp is not paying taxes. I'm paying payroll taxes. I'm paying minimal taxes on any profits on a K1. So it's very important that you know where your income is at. Bookkeeping is super important. You guys hear me? Let me see. Can you hear me? I'm like wondering right here.
You cut for 2 seconds, but I can hear you. You're good.
Okay, you can hear me? Yeah, something happened, right? I'm like, where did everybody go? Okay. All right. So now, you know, after my LLC started generating money, now you have to take a look at your numbers. Bookkeeping is so important. You don't need to have a sophisticated QuickBooks. You just in Excel, you know, a Google Drive, and, you know, maybe a Google Sheet where you document your income, you document your expenses. That way you have an idea of what strategies you can utilize to save taxes on self-employment. So schedule an LLC will file, they refer to it as a disregarded entity with the IRS unless you make the S corp election. So what happens is, you know, you got to keep an eye on what your profits are looking like. That way you could execute on any tax planning strategies like an S corp. An S corp is not for everybody. Be careful starting your LLC and electing S corp if you don't follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, the IRS can revoke the S corp election. It is an election that is granted and can be revoked. You need to have payroll. So now I am an employee of Rapid, and now I have my W-2. I have my paycheck stub, my, you know, so now I'm in a position where now I could, instead of having to do as a self-employed a profit and loss, I could apply for things using my paycheck stub. So, and any profits that are left or losses or whatever with the business are it's called a pass-through entity. So it's a K1 that we receive. And that's usually how an S corp works. A C corp, beware. It's not for everybody. A C corp does pay double tax, especially right now with rates that, you know, possibly they're going to be going up. So the most common entity, you know, for the people that are just starting that don't want to invest too much, the DBA, there's no yearly fees. It consists of the fictitious business name and the EIN. The fictitious name, depending on the county, you need to renew every 5 years. It's the cheapest way to start. An LLC just opens the doors to tons of opportunity if you utilize it the right way. So after you figure that out, what you want to do is figure out how you can start building your business credit. So there are trade lines. I think it's is it the Net 30? There's a list of companies, and that business planner that I have is going to give you a list of companies that you would want to apply for. It's going to give you tips on how to look more legitimate, such as your email, your website, your address, stuff like that. You want to see about possibly not using your home address if you're in an apartment, you know, maybe a virtual address, all that stuff. I tried it, it works. And now I'm in a position where Right now, I have another office under construction using other people's money, not my capital. And that's how you're able to continue to grow.
Pam, I had a quick question. Sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
So mostly everyone in here is in e-commerce. I know e-commerce clients are not your, I guess, there's not a lot of them. I'm sure there is, but not as your typical client, right? So if you can maybe strategize as far as the e-commerce world, what are some tips that can benefit them? Because at the end of the day, a lot of people, they want to write off everything, and it is beneficial, but you want to be at a point, if you're trying to buy a house, you want to show that your business is doing good, not necessarily just going broke every time. Does that make sense?
Yes. So I come across that and it's not just in the e-commerce world, it's in any, but like I have realtors that want to come in and report losses. I have realtors that make $300,000 a year and say that they just broke even. So again, what is the plan? So if you have a business plan, if you have a plan in your personal life as far as where you want to be, realistically, write-offs are great, but they're not going to get you far if you want to apply. No one's going to trust they're not going to trust you to lend you money if you're just kind of breaking even on your taxes. So what happens is with gig, like side gigs or people that are just going virtual or just doing behind the computer work, what we struggle with is the overhead. We don't have a lot of overhead, right? Can we agree?
Yes.
So that's the most common issue that we have with clients. So the solution is, this is why bookkeeping is important, because you need to pay or save at least 20% after your expenses for taxes. So if you're documenting and you're auditing your expenses, your income every month, you're able to send the IRS what's called estimated payments. I have clients that pay between $15,000 and $20,000 a year to the IRS. You're probably thinking like, what? Oh, heck no. But when you send them estimated payments, meaning I'm sending you in advance some money, IRS, in the event that I owe you. So what happens is I have clients that come to me and I tell them, okay, your liability is $10,000. All right, Pam, perfect. I've sent them $7,000 throughout the year. So my, 7, 8, 9, 10, I owe 2,000 at the end. So estimated payments are lifesavers, okay? Bookkeeping is very important. You need to document what comes in, what goes out. Also, be careful what you write off as a business expense, because remember, not everything is actually business related. You have to be realistic. A business expense is something that is necessary in order to generate. So I have clients that we do bookkeeping, so we see everything. We see what they spend their money on. And sometimes we call the clients like, hey, you went here, like how is this business related? Like, what did you do here? Oh no, that was, I used the business card because I was gonna go to the carne asada and I went to buy this and this and that, so you have to understand what commingling is. After you've established your entity and you go and open up your business bank account, that business bank account is only for business income and business expenses. Anything, so the way I recommend my clients to set up is set up your business bank account, set up a personal bank account. Anything that you take out as a draw, just transfer it to you. So if you are going to buy something that's not a business related expense, just transfer that money out to you. Transfer it out to your personal account and swipe with your personal card. So that way, in the event of an audit, and just so you guys know, audits right now are increasing. Schedule C audits are increasing. Schedule C is the most common form used on your tax form 1040. Schedule C, self-employed business income. If you don't have solid bookkeeping, the IRS will eat you alive, okay? I have a few audits in the office. Prior to this administration, I hadn't seen, and I'm not saying nothing, no political stuff, no, they're serious about their money right now. They've hired, and if you Google this, you'll see they've hired a lot of examination agents, and they're gonna go after the small businesses. So it's very important that you invest in the proper bookkeeping. If you can't hire a freelance bookkeeper, do it yourself, but make sure you actually deliver. You know, again, when I send you guys my packet, you'll see what a profit and loss looks like. You'll see what the most common expenses are. So I really encourage you guys to do that right now that we're starting the year. So right now, January, we're still in January. You have the first week of February to audit your January so that when 2022 closes, you have a clean profit and loss. Now, I have a very common question is, all right, well, I have my bank statements and I always use my business credit card or my business debit card for everything. So that should be good. It should be good, but in order to, for audit protection, you should be saving your receipts. What you can do with the technology now, there's no excuse. Again, create a Google Drive, create 12-month folders, and take pictures front and back of the receipts. So if you're going to Mastro's to have dinner with a business partner, with a colleague, somebody to talk about business, I need you to turn the receipt around because we need to document who was there, what you guys discussed, and that's it. You're going to take a picture. You're going to save it for audit protection. Your tax preparer, bookkeeper, we really don't need that. But when we need it is when the IRS says, hey, I seen that you went to Mastro's January 17th. What was that for? So the more you document, the better you are in a position to defend your expenses in the event of an audit. So if the auditor sees that you document things and you have things somewhat organized, they'll take you a little bit more serious. And so remember, receipts, save them on your Google Drive. Why? Because we lose them or, you know, they fade. So front and back of the receipt, with your phone now, you could have the Google Drive app on your phone. You could upload the Google to your folder. You know, the month of January, I went here. And again, that if you're ever audited, at that point, we'll print everything out. We'll show up with crates of stuff to the IRS and say, here, IRS, here are my records. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I think the misconception that people have with having a business is they feel like I just mentioned, right? They can write off everything. Now, what is a good cushion where it shows that they're making money? Is there like a soft?
So here's the thing. This is what I do for my clients. I get the calculator out and I ask them questions. Realistically, I tell you, where do you live? Oh, okay, I live in Orange County. All right, how much rent do you pay? Well, I have a roommate and my share is $1,650. Okay, $1,650 times 12, that's $19,000 of rent. How much is that BMW that you drive? Well, I pay about $625 a month. Okay, $625 times 12, that's $7,500 plus the $19,000 plus what is an insurance cost on that? Okay, maybe let's say $2,400 a year. Let's just say, okay. So right away, this person to survive a regular life needs $28,000. So if you want to leave your net income, meaning what net income translate is, this is how much was left IRS, and this is what I survived off of. So if you're leaving anything in California under $20,000, that's a red flag, you're lying. Can we agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Unless you live with your mom or unless you live with family and you're just starting. But I actually had a client, he's a musician, and he was audited by the IRS. And where he got stuck is because he would travel around and he wasn't saving his, he played at Coachella, he played at a lot of music festivals throughout the nation. So, you know, it went well, it didn't go bad, but again, he had left a net profit of $12,000. So $12,000, again, my job is to disclose, like, hey, are you sure? But at the end of the day, I'm not going to challenge you. I'm not the FBI. I'm not the IRS. I'm not the Treasury Department, you know? So if your record seems solid, then we'll go for it. But again, what causes these triggers is, you know, realistically, did you survive off of that? Because then now we get into another issue, tax evasion. You're lying, you're overstating your expenses. So what is the solution? Look at your income every month, put some money aside for Uncle Sam. And if you're trying to buy a house, get educated on what the loan process is like. Realistically, to get into a home, you're gonna need anywhere in California, you're gonna need anywhere between $60,000 and up, 60,000, 100,000. And so you got to figure out, okay, and there's ways to calculate a projected liability. We do that all the time. So we tell our clients, okay, don't be surprised if you want to get into a home and you're serious about it, then, you know, stop overstating your expenses. So a couple of things available for this year, we have deductions. There's the QBI deduction, which is a qualified business income deduction. It's a deduction that the IRS gives you. There is a COVID sick leave, so it's on a form 7202. So these are little things that the IRS is offering right now because of the pandemic and everything that went down, that, you know, they won't be used against you as far as like overstating expenses, but there are deductions available right now for Schedule C filers, sole proprietors. Get familiar with also too, what type of expenses are eligible in your industry. So for e-commerce, I want to say what the overhead, I mean, unless you have an office, right? You could write off office space at home. It's a very minimal deduction, but it is available. I don't know if you guys are paying for any advertising, marketing, stuff like that. Those are things that we could write off. If you are going to, maybe you've grown and you want to lease a commercial building, and if you're using your car to drive to different places, you know, make sure you're familiar with the mileage tracker. Mileage IQ is really good. So again, in order to write off your vehicle, it needs to be used more than 50% for your vehicle. So, and also too, documentation is important. You need to save records for maintenance that document the mileage. Right now, for example, is when you want to keep track of January, my car had 50,000 miles. February, my car had 60,000 miles. That way, documentation is key in the event of an audit. Remember, all this advice that I'm giving you is for audit protection. Documentation is key. Mileage IQ is good. That's what I recommend. Also too, when Ecom gives me your guys' emails, I could attach an Excel on there in the event that you are not like a mileage tracker app person. There are some people that still want to do like old school, but I'll go ahead and send you some samples on there. Also too, remember that, again, you know, document everything, save everything, come up with the system. And also, aside from a business plan, I could send you guys like a template that I have. Be realistic. How much is it going to cost? What's the startup like? What are my plans after I have a business that's up and running? Is the next step possibly getting into a home? I don't do home loans, but you know, I deal with people that get homeowners into a loan. Right. And sometimes we have clients that come to us and say, hey, Pam, we only reported $20,000 net profit, meaning after expenses. Is there any way we could add another 40? Because I will need 60. And I'm like, we can do whatever you want. But now in the event of an audit, what are we going to tell them? You know, it's easier said than done. So sometimes these lenders will say, oh, go to your taxes and tell them that you need more money. Okay. Well, we add the 40,000. So now there's a liability. Now you got to pay the IRS 9 out of 10 in order to get into that loan that you want for that home. So be realistic, save your money. And, you know, if you're still undecisive about the type of entity you want to start, I would highly recommend the LLC because, you know, right now, there's a lot of opportunities with, you know, getting loans and stuff like that. And we're still in a pandemic. We don't know if it's going to worsen. We don't know if SBA is going to be giving more money. So you got to be ready and have everything squared away in the event that there's an opportunity to get some type of assistance. Well, guess what? I have everything in order. Here you go. Boom, boom, boom.
Now, thank you very much for those gems. I think one thing that we need to understand as business owners, or maybe not even as a business owner, but maybe you're just on your personal stuff, like paying your taxes puts you in a different tax bracket. If you're getting a refund, right, it shows that you're not, I guess, making enough. I don't know if you want to.
Maybe if you have family, you're doing good. Because guys, we are a soft opening with taxes right now. And right now, I have a client right here, I won't say her name. She makes $40,000 a year. She's a W-2 employee. She goes exempt, meaning at work, she fills out her form so they don't take any taxes out, federal withholding. She has 2 kids. She pays childcare. She is 40,000, so she's between the low, not too low income, but she's walking out with $8,000. And you know, it's a lot of money. So with the refund and the credits and stuff like that, it all depends. The people that are walking out with a lot of money are usually the people that have credit with kids. So again, if you're a person that has dependents and you're walking out with these type of refunds, I challenge you to save that money and pretend you don't have it.
Go on there and ask.
Save it. Save it. It's a lot of money.
I had a person in the chat and he said, I guess what mileage tracker you use? Is that one?
Mileage IQ. I think we addressed it. I think someone answered.
Okay, awesome. Real quick, if you guys, if you wanted to get into Q&A, Pam, that way we can try to tackle some of these people's questions. Maybe, you know, like I said, everyone's in a different boat.
Everybody has a different case.
If you wanted to, if you have a question, definitely go ahead and raise your hand. I mean, and if there's a little emoji, I think you can raise your hand and then go ahead and unmute yourself and definitely ask it. I think, like she said, having a consultation is key and to see where your plan is going to be.
Yeah.
Go in there blind, right? And then you get audited. You don't want to be in that position, right? Or have
No, because now you have to pay a retainer for possibly getting some type of assistance from a professional, maybe an EA, a CPA, a tax resolution consultant or somebody. And guess what? They're going to charge you because they need your help. You need their help, I mean, you know? So I always tell people, if you're not serious about your business after a consultation, I don't want your money because we're not doing the right thing. So I like my clients to feel, you know, comfortable. I like my clients to feel confident. I like my clients to know, you know, due dates, due diligence, what they should do. Honestly, my clients that I service, it's like a relationship. I have to audit their income. I have to audit their bank statements. I have to call them and say, hey, what is this? So again, we sign an agreement. We're in a relationship for a year. Every year we renew it. And again, the relationship consists of me with my team. I have a team. We're about 8. I go through your bank statements every month, and I give you a nice profit and loss, because also too, if you don't know where your money, if you don't know your numbers, how do you know if you're profiting? How do you know if you're actually making money? Or what if you need to tweak some, you know, little things here and there? If you're just living day to day and just kind of making it kind of work, you don't have no clarity of where your numbers are at. So it's very important. So yeah, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions if you guys have questions.
Yeah, we have a JR real quick if you want to ask a question.
Yeah, Ms. Pam, I have a question about like keeping track of, I have a question of keeping track on expenses and whatnot. This year's like the first year I'm actually making a substantial amount of money. So I want to know a better way of keeping track of like expenses, like dinners, products that I would actually need, things like that, like mileage IQ. That's something I wrote down. How to use Google Drive for snapping photos of receipts. That's something else I'm also gonna do. But what else might there be I can do?
Can I ask what is it that you do?
E-commerce. I do drop shipping on marketplace for people,
okay,
as well as my own.
Okay, so what we can do is take a look at first of all, is your structure, you LLC, DBA?
I have an LLC, just went S Corp, and then I have another LLC, but I'm going to make an S Corp this year.
Is there a reason why? Why are you making 2?
The first one, it was for me originally because that's for my accounts that I run, but now I'm getting to the point where I'm doing automation. So I have another LLC, but I'm going to make an S Corp this year. But my current LLC is turned into an S Corp because I'm making so much money.
Okay, have you set up payroll?
Say again?
Have you set up your payroll plan?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so that's one thing you have to set yourself up on, like a salary. So depending on what you're bringing in, I have clients pay themselves a flat rate, $5,000 a month. Your entity is in charge of paying those payroll taxes, which are 100% deductible. So what we want to minimize is the self-employment tax. So yes, if you've already elected your S Corp election, so let me ask you this. When is your S Corp election effective? 2021 or 2022?
It's supposed to be 2022. We did it kind of late. And so she like mailed the CPA I'm with right now. She kind of mailed out like a letter saying, like a request, basically. She said she knew she can get it to go through. So at this moment, I should be an S Corp. I have to double check with her, but.
Yeah, so normally when we do the S Corp election here, what we do is we fax it in and then the client gets a letter saying you have been granted your S Corp. You could go back. You could go back for 2021. And right now what we're doing is, for example, I have a client who was an S Corp and she wasn't educated on payroll. So what we did is we backtracked her payroll for a year and we took advantage of the ERC payroll credits. So she actually ran payroll and came out of pocket very minimal for a $50,000 salary, taking advantage of the ERC payroll tax credits. So I don't know what the strategy I would have told you is probably had your 2553 backdated to January 1st of 2021, took the payroll. You could have done that up until March of this year. I would have took payroll for Q1, Q2, Q3. I would have took the ERC kits. Are you in California?
Louisiana.
Okay. So
My
I'm not
entity
sure
is in
what
Florida though.
Okay. Well, okay. So Florida, no state tax. You just would have been responsible of any payroll tax, which would have been very minimal, taking advantage of the ERC payroll tax credits.
Dang, because right now about 3K she told me for last year. Off of 50,000 I netted, I owe about 3K she told me. A little under 3K.
I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad at
I
all.
want to keep everything though. Trying to learn how to keep everything.
So then moving forward, put yourself on a payroll. So a really cool, I like QuickBooks is good. QuickBooks is good. It's something that you could do yourself, but you guys take notes. If you want free bookkeeping, a nice platform, it's called Waves app. WAVES APP, Waves app. And it's not an app, it's just called Waves app. But if you log on, you create your profile, you connect your bank, you tell the system a little bit about your business, and you could create some really clean reports on there. I challenge you guys to start 2022 with the Waves app, and it's free. QuickBooks, you're starting a subscription, I think at anywhere from $20 and up, and then they bump the price up within 30 days, 60 days, I don't know. But for payroll, QuickBooks is good. Waves app is good for bookkeeping. Okay, bookkeeping is a way of organizing your expenses. So again, I probably it's Waves app, WAV like Victor, E like Eddie, S like Sam, Waves like a wave in the ocean. Waves app. Gotcha. Okay. So a couple of things that I would recommend, again, consider what your profits are looking like so that you could generate some payroll for yourself. Again, that's a write-off. Your tax will look a lot cleaner. You'll have your 1040 with your W-2, and then any profits will come through as a K1. So you kind of your goal is to kind of break even with your K1, which is your so a couple of things that you could write off, expenses related to networking events. So if you're traveling for networking, just again, document everything, the purpose of the trip, advertising, promotion, online, any business cards, greeting cards, anything that you're sending out. If you're hiring like some type of assistance, a freelancer, independent contractor to help you, you could write them off. What you want to do is, again, you have to be careful with the labor laws, but if you're hiring someone that's going to do, your internet, your website, if, someone's going to help you with answering emails or whatever, make sure you have like an independent contractor agreement. Again, guys, if you guys need these things, just reach out to me. I can help you guys out. You could write off what you are going to pay an individual to help you as an independent contractor in any area that you need help in. Before you pay an independent contractor, always exchange the first check or the first deposit or the first Zelle, whatever it is from the business bank account, in exchange for a W-9. Do you guys know what a W-9 is? A W-9 is something that you give an independent contractor so that they return to you and you have the information to properly 1099 them at the end of the year. So I have a client who is a wardrobe. She does wardrobe for movie sets. So she hires assistants to help her set up the clothing racks and all that. And every time in January, we get together and we 1099 all those helpers that she paid, and she's able to take that as a write-off. That's contract labor, okay? Insurance, if you're buying workers' comp insurance, general liability insurance, stuff like that, you're able to deduct that. Let's say that you move into a commercial space and now you need general liability in the event that somebody is walking around and they fall and trip, guess what? You're covered, you got your general liability. If you are going to have a commercial building where you're going to have your equipment, you could add a business owner policy, 100% deductible. That's to protect your investment. So there's different types of insurance. Legal and professional services, attorney fees, business consulting, accounting fees, any bonds, permits, anything like that, you're able to write off. Office expenses, obviously the most common, maybe stationary items, office supplies, pens, stuff like that. Bank fees, you know, if you have any bank fees related to having a business bank account, you're able to write that off. Repairs and maintenance, you know, if you're using office space and you need to repair it, you need to maybe rip that carpet out, put some floor in there or something, just save receipts of everything. Small tools, it just depends, you know. A tool for you guys could be, you know, or like equipment too, you know, computer, camera, stuff like that, we could depreciate. You cannot write off your taxes that you pay the IRS. Okay, so if you have that $3,000 tax bill, you can't come to me next year and say, hey, I want to write off what I paid Uncle Sam. You cannot write that off. But taxes that you can write off are payroll taxes, you know, personal licenses. If you have to get licensed in, you know, a particular city, in the event that they require you to get licensed, you could write that off. You know, when it comes to traveling, documentation is key, and obviously the purpose of the trip. Expenses when you are away, convention fees, seminars, airplane, airfare, auto rentals, Uber, taxis, your cleaners, stuff like that when you're away. This year, meals are, go ahead.
Personal growth?
Like, yeah, development. Yeah, that's part of a, that's definitely a write-off. Remember guys, this year, meals are 100% write-off. There is, you have to be careful because if you can't you can't write off the so it's 50% or 100% are meals that are prepared and served to you. But if you go to 7-Eleven and you're picking up some food on the go, there's a 50% limit. So it depends, but ideally the restaurant stuff is what you want to do. So tickets to, so I had made a note right here. Dues, publication, education, continued education, printing fees, show fees, shipping fees. If you are shipping, you know, anything, any type of gift to like a particular client or something, you can write off gifts up to $25. Also, you can add logos of your brand to gifts to get a little bit more of a write-off. So again, I just gave you guys some just kind of ideas in general, but you know, take advantage of what there is to write off. Depreciation is key. I think with my e-commerce clients, I struggle because we're like, I'm just like asking and they're like, well, no, I don't have that. I don't have that. So I'm like, all right. So then we got to get familiar with estimated tax payments. Another type of industry that I struggle to is the people that sell life insurance. They make good money and their overhead is very minimal. All they do is walk around with a little bag in their laptop and they go to people's houses. So,
So just wanted to add. So if someone is making 100,000, obviously the key is to not write off. You want to like I said, like she mentioned, right? You want to be profitable, right? You don't want to make 100K and then break even.
Well, here's the plot twist. What if you make 100,000, but then your wife makes 60,000? So every scenario is different because if you're filing combined, you know, we have to realistically be aware, you know, that some people they file taxes married and they have other income. So a lot of times people are like, should I file married? And I'm like, well, are you married? No, but we plan on getting married. And I'm like, well, if you are getting married and you plan on getting married and you guys are both making good money, you're just going to be at another tax bracket and you don't have a house, you don't have any dependents. So also too, I'm not trying to discourage anybody on marriage, but you know, think of those things too, like the tax bracket it's taking you to.
Yeah, different tax bracket, obviously more for Uncle Sam, but you know, in the long haul, it's going to give you more open credit. The banks are going to mess with you more, your business, because they see steady income coming in. As opposed
Yeah. So also too, so the bank statements are important because that's what gives you your credibility, how much money is coming in and out. So yeah. And then that's the nice thing about this, this industry you guys are in, there's no way to collect cash. You're not a low key business. It's you know, everything goes through your account, right? Everything's electronic.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can't hide cash.
Yeah.
You can't hide money.
I know this is fresh, but like people are the IRS is saying that if you're making more than $600 via Zelle, PayPal, you know, Uncle Sam wants to see that, right? So
Well, yeah, just to clarify on that, and I'll give you an example. I do taxes for people that would tell me I did Uber Lyft. And all right, cool. Well, where's your records? Well, Uber and Lyft are not required to send out forms if it was under a certain amount of money. But now the IRS got on a lot of agencies such as Uber, Lyft, the apps such as Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. So basically what they're doing is if you have a business bank account and the amounts exceed a certain, if you have a certain amount of activity or certain amount of income it exceeds, they're going to give you one mandatory. But what I tell my clients is like, if you're transferring that money out, so like when that TikTok went out and people were going crazy, I got tons of calls and I'm like, why are you so worried? What are you worried about? You worried about doing the right thing moving forward, or you're worried that you've been doing tax evasion, you're committing tax evasion the last 5 years? What are you so worried about? Like, pay your taxes moving forward. If you got away with it for 5 years, let it be, move forward, pay your taxes, save some money, and that's it.
nice.
I mean,
you guys got to pay to play, right? I mean, running a business is not just 2,000. Everyone thinks that with $2,000 you can start a business. And I'm sure, yeah, you could start, but obviously think of all the headaches going forward if you don't do it right. That's why I thought it was really important having Pam mastering in her craft. Every time I see her story, she's either at an event or at a tax seminar.
I'm
right?
so excited. I'm gonna be with Mark Kohler, one of the best. His firm is they're my CPAs. Mark Kohler is gonna have a crypto summit. So I'm working on it right now. I've done so much work repetitively, you know, the tax repetitive stuff. And now this whole crypto NFT, it's like a new world. So I got to get out my comfort zone. So I'm going to be in Phoenix with them. It's going to be a summit for CPAs, accountants, and we're going to be there learning strategies for those individuals in the crypto, Bitcoin, and the alternative currency world, and how, you know, tax implications and stuff. So hopefully I pick up some gems that I could share with you guys.
You kind of went away again.
I got a call. Sorry, let me see. I said I'm gonna be learning a lot about the alternative currency, capital gains, all that stuff. So hopefully I could share some more gems with you guys when I'm back.
Awesome. Hey, does anyone have any other questions real quick? I think I have one towards the end, but I feel like every entrepreneur in the beginning has a big struggle, right? Everyone thinks that you're making good money, but you're always throwing it back into the business. And what is something, Pam, that you think you can give someone starting off in their business, whether it's a storefront, whether it's just e-commerce, that's kind of helped you along the way? Is it mentors? Maybe you knew early on regarding credit? Anything that you can give, that'd be awesome.
First and foremost, I want to say that I had to trim the fat. People that weren't with the vision, the people that doubted me, people that doubted me that actually didn't even, whether it was just me kind of telling them like, hey, I want to do this, want to do that, those people that discouraged me, I cut them all off, all of them. It gets lonely and it's okay. Some of the best ideas come to me when I'm alone. I interact with people. I pick my who I want to be around very carefully, because if you're not adding to my growth, I don't want you near me. I don't want your negative thoughts. I don't want your doubt, all that stuff coming towards me. I don't want it. So first and foremost, plan as much as you can. The plan doesn't have to be perfect. Get a notebook, get some type of notes on your phone going, like, this is my plan. This is what I want to do. Come up with a vision, even if it seems unrealistic, put something together. I could tell you guys that my old school vision boards, I used to be like, oh God, I don't want a vision board. Guess what? Looking back now, it's creepy because I've checked everything off. Right now, I'm currently in escrow for my dream home. I get emotional about it. I never thought, I first of all, I don't have parents that gave me something to start. I started on my own. And so things weren't handed to me. I had to work very hard and I had to figure it out. But again, right now, because of things I was able to learn and put together on my own, I am now, I have investment properties. Every year I challenge myself to a property a year. So I've done that. I've done pretty well. I have investment properties here in California, but I actually got to shop for my dream home. And looking back at my vision boards, it's exactly what I put together without even knowing. So what you think and what you say, what you put out, it actually it's very powerful. So I don't want people that aren't supportive. I don't want those people around me. Cut relationships that are not good. So even toxic ones. Sometimes you're gonna have to be single for a while because no one's gonna understand. If you're a workaholic, people are gonna think, oh my God, you work too much. Oh my God, cut them off. Because if this is your passion, the right person will come along that's just as passionate as you are. So cut those toxic relationships out. Plan, put the vision every year, every 6 months, put something together. And also celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small they are, celebrate, and keep yourself motivated. After that, get familiar with, it's not your job to be the tax guru, but get familiar with the laws, get familiar with what is deductible, any changes that Congress, signed, how is it going to affect you? Get familiar with, expenses related to your particular industry. That's probably the best advice I could give you guys. It's not easy, but if you enjoy it, you love what you do, it's gonna be like a journey that you're gonna love. I don't know. It sounds corny, but straight up, that's that's what I can tell you guys.
There was 2 questions. I think it says, are you able to do taxes to someone in Texas or Florida? That was
so yes, guys. So the nice thing about taxes is I'm licensed nationwide. So I do hold my license federally. That is with the federal government, the IRS. So the lucky thing about Texas and Florida, you guys don't have state taxes. So yes, I can help you guys out. And what I did right now, if you don't mind, Ecom, I drafted up a return. I want you guys to see what a net profit, Schedule C, independent contractor. Let's say that you made, you want to see, let me see. I did a scenario here. Remember, there are deductions available, such as, the QBI. There's, if you had COVID, there's certain COVID relief. But I did a scenario right here. Single filer, meaning no kids, no wife, single person, net profit $100,000. Their tax liability is $27,000.
So if they make 100,000 or profit 100,000?
A profit. I'm talking about profit.
Okay, so if they profit 100,000, they should be paying 27,000 to Uncle Sammy.
That's other deductions we could take out, remember. But we're just so you guys get an idea of what the self-employment tax is. Okay, we have other deductions. This is just something that I'm just kind of telling you guys. Obviously, we would see about depreciation, we would see about the QBI, we would see about COVID relief. There are a lot of things available, but again, it's not available to everybody if it's not applicable. So if you didn't get COVID, I can't give you that COVID relief. But just so you kind of understand, the liability on $100,000. So here we go, $100,000 liability, $27,560, what you owe. So now, $27,560, divide that by 4 quarters. That means you gotta give an estimated payment every quarter for about $6,000. So that's about $1,700 a month. Okay, so that's just to kind of give you an idea, guys.
Awesome. Hey, real quick, any last minute questions, guys? I think Pam, definitely.
Someone had asked my so at Instagram, I'm at taxgirl626, taxgirl626.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Yes, go on, Sean.
Thank you. Should a single member LLC should file a Form 2553 to be taxed as an S corp?
If you're ready for the payroll commitment, yes. So what are your profits looking like after expenses? That's something that you could figure out now for 2021 because you're going to do your tax return. So if your profits are over 30,000, I would definitely want to avoid the self-employment tax and look at your options of paying payroll taxes and giving yourself a W-2 from your S corp if you make the election.
Oh, okay.
So guys, just to clarify, if you elect S corp, you must be on a reasonable compensation. You must pay yourself payroll. Why? Because if you cheat, if you make an S corp election, an S corp is not going to pay taxes. It's going to give you your K-1. And what happens is the IRS doesn't want you to avoid the self-employment tax and just elect S corp if you're not going to follow the rules. They want to collect some type of tax. So how they do that is through payroll tax. But again, it's a benefit because your business is going to write the payroll tax off and you're going to get a W-2. So you'll have, your monthly paycheck stubs, however you decide to pay yourself, whether it's bi-weekly, weekly, monthly. That's how that works. So I would just double check what your profits are like before you get into that. Give me 1 second.
Hey, any other questions? I know Tax Girl 626 definitely came here with the heat. If you guys want to do me a favor and like I said, whoever's most active at the end of the challenge is going to get a refund. So definitely, if you want to record and tag her in the post, definitely will mean a lot to her, to me and everyone on this challenge. Any questions real quick, because you have her here.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah,
Yes.
Don't sleep on this.
So our brand new car lease is fully deductible if you use the car solely for business?
Yes. Documentation is key. You need to document what your usage of the vehicle is. But yeah, so you could write off your lease and then also possibly get a depreciation deduction.
Okay.
But you want to document is a key. Remember, why are we documenting? In the event the IRS wants to harass you for a little bit.
Okay. So what would I put? Would I just put the mileage for the
track your mileage, and basically, document, create some type of journal. Write down where you're going, the purpose of it. Are you going to wrap it? Is it anything for your business, like as like a commercial use or?
Well, yeah, I'm probably gonna use it because sometimes we do a lot of returns on Amazon, so I'm thinking of getting like a truck or something where I could just put everything together and then take it to the spot.
I would probably be careful with the lease, because you got to keep in mind the lease has a cap on the mileage, right? You got to negotiate the mileage usage. So if you get something over 6,000 pounds, you could deduct it. You could get a nice depreciation deduction, aside from the mileage deduction too. So be careful, because if you're going to be using it to travel around, remember a lease is something that if you calculate the mileage times what they're giving you as a deduction. I believe it's 0.58 cents or something like that. If you, let's say you do 10,000 miles a year for just exclusive business use, times that times a 0.58, you're writing off about $5,800 on just mileage alone. So you cannot write off a car note. Like if you're financing something, you cannot write it off. But you can write off a lease, but you're gonna have to kind of figure out what's gonna work out better, because if the lease is gonna cost you more money on the long run, like you wanna like buy out or whatever, just kind of keep those things in perspective.
Okay. All right.
All right, guys. One last call, man. Seriously, if you guys have a question for her.
I have one question.
Yes,
Real
hi.
quick.
I like that.
Apologize.
I like that. It is money's worth.
So this is my plan was to open up an LLC, but I'm also a realtor, so I do real estate and I'm trying to get into the whole e-commerce. Do I open up an LLC and that falls under an umbrella for both entities, if that makes
What
sense?
state are you in?
I'm in Florida.
Okay, so a lot of times what people do is they'll create their LLC and then just have the DBAs.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Mm-hmm. So I'll share an example with you guys. I have the Rapid Solutions LLC, and then I have 5 locations. So I have one city is called Rapid Auto Life Scan, and then the other one's Rapid Tax Monrovia, the other one's Rapid whatever. So I don't mix the income. So each office has their separate bank account. So your real estate activity will have its own bank account, and obviously your e-commerce. So that's a suggestion.
Got you. Okay, understood. So now just make sure you separate them both.
Well, see, a lot of times, so like here in California, they charge $800 a year to have your LLC with or without activity. So I don't know if they are charging you in your state, like what the fees are. So you kind of have to weigh out. I mean, if you're not subject to all the fees that we're subject here in California, by all means, I would say open up 2 LLCs. But if you definitely want to analyze what the cost is going to be, but if you actually wanted to open up 2 LLCs, that's creating 2 different identities. Remember, 2 different opportunities to create more business credit line.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those $800 that you pay every year, they're not tax deductible, right?
The franchise fee?
Yeah.
We can write it off.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, we can write off the franchise fee.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank
Yeah, you just can't write off a tax liability.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. Pam, like I said, what's your Instagram one more time? And if you
TaxGirl66.
TaxGirl66, if you want to DM her.
And also too, if you could send me an email, if you could CC us, that way I could give you guys the tools I promised you. I'm sorry, Mom.
Yeah, I'll send you everyone's email for sure, Pam. All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
I appreciate you, Pam, and
yeah.
Stay blessed.
Thank you.
Be in touch.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye. Oh, whoa. So obviously taxes is not sexy. LLCs, nothing sexy about it. S Corp, nothing sexy about it. But I think it's something that we all need because it gets your mind working as like, look, if I'm gonna fucking do this, I'm gonna do it right. Because if I don't, and I don't actually see what I'm making or what I'm spending, you know, it's gonna put me in a bad situation come Uncle Sam time. Because you don't want to be that one person that goes to the tax, and I know you're probably paying to do your taxes done, so they should figure it out, but you're not getting your best value in the sense of like, you know what, I should be deducting this. When you commingle, what she said, when you're mixing your personal account with your business account, it's not good structure. Because now it shows like you're using your personal funds to fund your business fund to fund your personal lifestyle. And then that's where they can go at you harder and say, well, what are you actually writing off? Because right here, I'm seeing personal bank account, I'm seeing restaurant. Oh, no, but that's for the business. Oh, okay, well, it just gets a little headachy and you just don't want to be in that position. But if you do it right, document your mileage, doing your profit loss sheet. Hey guys, business is not pretty. Don't think that every month has to be a profit. You know, there's going to be some months that you take L's. like in this challenge, like my goal is to give you guys value. I really don't care about making money because I'm thinking long-term. Like the growth of the brand, who I'm taking with me. That's more important to me. If you focus on the capital gains right now, you're in it for the wrong reasons. As far as like you want to make quick money. It's not about making quick money. It's about making long-term money. And each month, like, are you growing? What did you do last month on your finances that you could have done better this month? Okay, which leads, like I said, I wanted to knock her segment out the way first, because going forward, I don't want to throw her in the middle, because there's going to be the speaker that we have tomorrow is going to be on credit. And then Wednesday is going to be on Turo. And we're talking about a Turo 7-figure earner. And this guy is going to bring you so much information. Ask as many questions as you can, right? Closed mouths don't get fed. I don't care if the question is stupid, right? You're asking the question because you want to know. And that's what's going to make you grow. If you're not asking any questions, you're going to be uncomfortable when it comes to an event, when it comes to meeting someone that you want to network with. You're not asking questions. Okay. And like one question that a lot of people do, you know, they say, oh, how much is your business making? Another question that I would be asking is, what is your net worth? Instead of asking what, you know, how much are you making? You ask that question, that changes the whole conversation. Okay. Because you can show me your business is making 100K, but what's your net worth? What that means, well, okay, cool. Now he wants to see like my real estate property. Now he wants to see my other source of income. That net worth as a whole will make you understand, like, do I want to do business with this person? If his net worth is not where, you know, I want to be, like I'm thinking bigger, you know, just to throw that out there. That's a big, big light bulb, guys. Someone comes up to me and tells me what my net worth is, like, oh, this guy's been doing his homework, as far as like, this guy's coming correct, but he wants to grow, he wants to learn, he's being aggressive. You know, like I said, this first day wasn't sexy, but definitely the information. Tap in with Pam, and I'm sure she can on each of your personal e-commerce, she can do a consultation and say, look, this is my plan. You know, this plan, like Carlos put it out there. Like, I want to make 7 figures profit. Not 6 figures profit, not 6 figures. You know, that's the goal. You know, are you writing it down? What is your profit and losses sheet looking at each month? And that's going to be more realistic going towards what he wants to claim. Remember, we're in this because we want to keep on growing. We don't want to be stuck. The information that we get, if you're not putting it into action or actually taking 1 or 2 gems out of what she said, then this whole 2 hours was useless. You know, that's the key, guys. If I'm not providing speakers that are going to make you shift your mindset at least somewhat 50%, then this challenge to me, like, it wasn't successful. And that's what I want to do. I want to change it. You guys have any questions real quick? We have some time going forward. Now, I know in the chat, raise your hand real quick, or I know I can't see everyone. I know we had S Corp, LLC. Is there anyone who has not started one? I think we had like 2 or 3 people, maybe with no LLC or.
Should I start a different LLC if I'm starting a different store, like a whole different store? Have 2 or just
So,
put it in one?
good question. So Pam hit this on the nail, right? So if you start a LLC for your main store and then a DBA for your other store, guess what? You're not paying $800 a year, right? DBA is free. See what I mean? So that's like, okay, I got my LLC, I'll pay the $800, and then my DBA, different store, different profits, different numbers. You know,
It's just under
good
one
question.
LLC. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
So it would be under my LLC, the DBA, right?
Yeah, under your LLC, DBA, yeah. So
Okay.
one thing that, Carlos touched on, which I can't wait, I want to get into it already. He said Amazon does a lot of returns, and we hate that. Okay? What I'm going to show you guys on Thursday is changing that. No more returns. What we're doing, whole different operation. It's going to change drop shipping to where you can automate it, and now it's like less stressful. Okay? But you still, Snagger is still going to be a huge impact in that. Okay? And then also, like, I don't want to give away too much, but just know you don't have to worry about messages no more. The customer. That's one of the key things, that the less human interaction that we have, the better we can focus on other areas. I don't want to worry about Sally and her worrying about, oh, my package is 1 day late. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to automate it differently, so you can start making more and start focusing more on the business credit side, so you can start investing in other. The Turo guy that I have speaking, I promise you he will make you start Turo. Yesterday.
I was thinking, if I do lease the car for, like I said, I was also thinking of getting into Turo. So this is gonna be perfect.
No, this Turo guy, guys, I've been in that room with him. Man, so many gems. Like, one small thing that I took away so many gems, but like one of them was like, Turo, like some people rent vans and they'll throw in a car seat just because they have the baby. You want to give them more comfort, right? And he's like, never do that. Because if anything goes wrong with that car seat, now you're taking that liability because you're the one that put it in there. Remember, you're dealing with customers. At the end of the day, something happens, you take that hit. Oh, where was the car seat? Oh, the customer put it in there and he threw it in there as a bonus. Car seat defected. Now it's gonna fall on you. Let them worry about what they gotta put in the car. Something like that. And this guy's gonna bring the heat, man. This guy, Oscar, his name's Oscar. Definitely big in the space, big on crypto, big in real estate. And he's actually doing my refi on my home. You know what I mean? So I'll be able to tap out 300,000, and then, start going more into the whole real estate investment side, right? Because if you're the face behind your business, you know what I mean? It requires a lot from you. So you want to step down and kind of automate it in place. So now you're just worrying about the numbers. Do the numbers make sense for me to keep on building this brand? All right, guys. Any last minute housekeeping details? Like I said, I saw a question, David. You had a question, bro? Or your hand's still up?
Yeah, I got a quick question.
Go ahead, brother.
Just touching on what Carlos said. So like getting another LLC, and then you said you can do like the making like another store, and then you can do like the DBA under the same LLC. Would that connect like the stores at all, or would it have like a different address too, like under the new DBA?
No, good question. So when you start a DBA, you're starting, you can put a whole different virtual address on a DBA, because DBA is doing business as.
Oh, okay, for sure. So it'll have like its own address, own phone number, stuff like that.
So like what Tax Girl said, right? She's got 5 offices,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're all Rapid, but one of them falls under Rapid Monrovia, different address. Rapid La Puente. So she's able to not commingle her business, because Carlos wants to do real estate and e-commerce, right? And he can have one LLC, but his LLC is primarily real estate, and then the DBA is strictly e-commerce.
Oh, okay, for sure.
Okay. One small gem, guys, to kind of like, if you haven't started an LLC or that aspect, if you want to get into real estate, and I don't know if I've shared this with you guys before, try to name your LLC of a place that causes pain. I grew up in a real poor neighborhood in LA, East Hollywood, and my address was 4059 Oakwood Avenue. Like 1 bedroom, my mom was paying $350 a month, gang infested. And I didn't like that upbringing. So I went back 2 years ago to show my sons and my daughter like where I grew up. We've driven by before, but never really got out and kind of show them like where I grew up. And they tore that whole community down, and they're building condos. So I wasn't able to share that experience with them, but it made me think, right? The real estate LLC that I'm going to start, I'm going to call it 4059 Oakwood or 4059 Real Estate. Because to me, I never want my parents to live like that. See what I mean? And it gives me more of a purpose to keep growing. Like if I think of, oh shit, 4059 LLC, that shit gives me goosebumps right now. You know what I mean? Because there's so much pain and hunger behind that. Like I remember my mom, she bought a brand new Geo Prism, like barely making ends meet, bought a brand new Geo Prism. And we were so excited, came out, and she locked her keys in the car. Like we were excited with just her buying the car. You know what I mean? Second day, car broken into. Like my mom was like devastated, like, dude, I got 4 broken windows now, or two broken windows. I got a new car that I earned my ass off. And it was like seeing my mom cry, like that shit hurt me. You know what I mean? And I know, you know, me and Carlos, me and Raul, everyone that's a car guy, you know, we talk about this Lambo. And I think for me, like my goal this year is to get my mom a Tesla. I'd rather get my mom a Tesla before I get my Lambo, just because that's where I'm at. You know what I mean? Ease the pain on her. That's, for me, that's a bigger flex. You know what I mean? Like being able to do that for my mom after what she did for me, you know, like remember Elon Musk says, right? Your kids didn't ask to come in this world, so they owe you nothing, right? But you owe them everything. And I never want to see my mom struggle again, you know, making sure she's good, car, back and forth to work, no gas, electric, you know what I mean? That's the goal I'm working on. And then after that, obviously, if there's side money extra, and I'm gonna get the Lambo this year. Like I can literally already, you know, close enough get it. And I'm thinking Lambo or R8, but you know, I had to change my track of thought. Like it was just not going with that. It wasn't sitting well with me. I'm gonna be nice in a car, and then you know, my mom is not where, you know, I want her to be. That's being selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like nah, that shit don't sit well. And I, you know, my mom, my wife, you know, she's on board with it. Like, hey, babe, that's really meaningful. That shows, you know, my grandkids. I mean, my kids are gonna see that. You know, dad ain't playing. And me having that extra car note is gonna make me deliver every fucking month. You know, and let it give you goosebumps, guys. Start that LLC under something that's going to cause you pain, guys. Right? Because pain, you know, is what keeps you going. Like my daughter, softball team, coach, big on mindset, tells all the girls, why do you like playing softball? Oh, I like it. I love it. But why? Oh, I like it. I want to go play college. Coach didn't like those answers. You know what I mean? You got to have a bigger reason. You know, I want to see my mom, after what she sacrificed, see me play pro so I can give back to her. That's a bigger reason. So you know what the coach did? Coach made every girl on their hat, like ball cap, like visor, write down their why on their bottom of their cap. What's their why? You know, seeing my parents, you know, see me play on the USA team, be proud of me or something like that. That's a bigger why. Not just because you love it. Okay, I love doing econ. That's not going to make me work harder. You know, I fucking love flaming hot Cheetos. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real, guys. And like I said, promise you guys, every day, the speakers, you know, they're for you. They're here for you. And then the connection. So now Pam is on here. You know, JR dropped a good question. Carlos dropped a good question. Now they can slide in the DMs on the positive side. You know what I mean? I see you guys. And just be like, hey, you know what? Appreciate you being on that Zoom call. You mind if you can schedule an appointment with me? I got some numbers that don't really add up. You know what I mean? And she might, hold you accountable on whatever that is, guys. The relationships are what sticks out. Bullshit aside. Exactly. You know what I mean? So hopefully I touched some deep, let it go in the pain, guys. If you grew up for money, hey, to each his own. But if you didn't, use that shit as leverage, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, another thing I want you guys to consider. I have, a friend, I don't want to say he was a close friend in high school. Obviously, he's on a different path. So he's always partying every weekend. He's 38 and, he still lives at home with his parents, which, hey, but his mindset is like, he thinks the house is going to go to him. See what I mean? Like, fuck that. Whatever your parents made, that's their, stuff. If they decide to leave you anything, okay, that's a different topic for a different chapter. You know what I mean? I want to make my own brand, my own wealth, my own generation. So no handouts. No handouts, guys. Fuck the handouts. When I was struggling, I'm not gonna bullshit, I took some WIC. I took some WIC. We took some WIC, food stamps. I think there was like 2 or 3 months we took food stamps, like back when my son was like probably like 2 or 3, food stamps, WIC. And I got a second job. And my wife was like, hey, babe, now we got extra. I said, no. Cut the WIC stuff. Like, cut it. I don't want to be dependent on it. You know what I mean? It's there if you need it. But if you're working your ass off, yeah, it gives you a little cushion, but I didn't want to get that. When I quit my job in March, another one of my buddies, like, he got let go of his job, but they gave him like 6 months ahead. He called me 2 months ago. Hey, bro, I know you quit USC. What are you doing about your taxes? Like, and I go, what do you mean? I go, aren't you collecting unemployment? I said, fuck no. Hell no, man. If I did that, I'm gonna fall in the system. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to I want to breathe. But like, if I go unemployment, it's not going to make me hustle. It's not going to make me grind. So he was like, oh, you're not getting unemployment? I said, fuck no, man. But if you are, hey, all good, man. If you need it, you need it. It's there if you need it. But don't get comfortable. Cut it off when you're able to, like, hey, you know what? I got an extra 1,000, 2,000. Now I got to make it, grow more. Got to make it grind, guys. All right. Appreciate you guys being in here. Any last minute questions? This whole week, like I said, this is recorded. I'm gonna send it to you guys so you guys can have it. And man, appreciate everyone in here, guys. Seriously, this week's gonna be game changer. NFTs, like I said, whoever wins that NFT off the bat, if you sell it, you already got 2,500. The Oculus, boom. And if you get refunded on this, all this was free, right? But you got to stand out from the person next to you. Remember that first question? Raul, you came in, right? So if I asked you, how much percent are you going to give in this challenge? What would you answer?
1,000%.
Okay, he said 1,000, right? He went up to everybody right there. He didn't say 120 like I was thinking. He said 1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Way, man.
Appreciate that. And once we get into this credit gen, everyone is going to get all the plays. All the correct letters, like all the plays, so you can start even executing on your own once you see it works, right? And definitely start taking your own personal clients. Because my struggle, people would buy the course, and I was blessed, and I was happy. However, we got to do it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm saying just start. Because if you just start, you'll be in a better position of not starting and like, oh, let me wait till my credit's right. So yeah, that plays an aspect. But can you start and still work on your credit at the same time? And not fucking just start and like push it aside? You know, and that's what I did. Like I started, I don't want to look at my credit score. Fuck no. I pay everything cash. You know what I mean? So it's one of the things that you could be doing at the same time. And it's like, shit, dude, we only got so much limited time, dude. Fuck that. I'm not wasting it. You know, I'm only spending it with people that want to grow with me. All right, guys? Any last minute things real quick before we go? I know 2 hours is going to be heavy all week, man. Heavy all week. Like I said, note takers, money makers. So if you took some notes on any little gem, and then reach out to Pam. Reach out to Pam so she can give you that plan. And I'll make sure she gets out that business plan. All right, I'm gonna send her all the emails and then she can send it out. Like that right there. Who's really doing that? Like as far as they want to start a business, okay, cool. I don't know where the fuck to start. You know what I'm saying? So this is properly done. Tax, get your payroll right.
Have them DM me everybody's email so we can.
Yeah, do me a favor. Can everyone DM Brands Ave on Instagram with your email? I just want to make sure no one's being left out. No one's being left out. Oh, I didn't get the email. I don't want that. All right, guys, please. Victor, hey, can you put your Instagram and your IG? Like I said, hopefully most of you were benefited from this call. Maybe a few more than others. Maybe some that started LLC. Maybe if you haven't started, it's kind of like, hey, man, it woke me up. I'm going to keep my receipts like I'm a receipt holder. You know what I mean? All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, like I said, I have the credit speaker, and then Turo is going to be on Wednesday or vice versa. I got to look at my schedule. Okay? And then those two. And then Thursday, we're going to be in the metaverse. So the Thursday class is going to be in the metaverse. We're all going to be in there, and then definitely going to be talking about NFTs in the metaverse. And then Friday, we'll close it out with Snagger, and then the huge gem that I'm dropping as far as changing this whole, that course is fucking pretty much not existing no more. You know, that's what you have to do. Change it over quality. You know, give the good information, but more make it a full dissect course. Put the credit in, put the mindset in. That way people are not fucking getting information, not really executing because shit's all fucked up. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. DM Brands Ave. Thank you very much for hopping in, guys. Like I said, man, this is just day one.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Bless up. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys. All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Later.
And remember, document the journey. All right, guys.